Everyone's making a Squid Game video, I should also make a Squid Game video for some views and subscribe. I mean for some quality content. For you guys, yeah. So first up, I created a project and named it I'm just kidding, I named it Squid Game. The next thing I did was make a player. For now, our player is this beautiful blue rectangle. After a bit of coding, we have a basic player movement. Now we have a basic player movement. Now let's just agree our player looks very unoriginal. In the show, I don't actually remember any blue rectangles competing for 46 billion won. It's not rectangles who are competing, it's humans. So I started drawing an actual player. I imported this player to my game engine and also added some animation because, well, a game without animation doesn't look that good. Anyway, now that we have a player, it's time to make those games. Well, there are 6 games in that show, but I'm only going to remake the first 5 games.
Okay, yes, and what about the 6th and final game, which is known as the Squid Game?
Yeah, about that. I actually don't know how the last game works, so I'll not be remaking that game. It's totally not because I'm very lazy and doesn't want to code that game. But we have an extra game, which is known as the Lights Out level game. Yeah, that night where you kill each other and die. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Programming the first game, which is known as the red light green light, was very easy. You just gotta make a doll which will turn its head after a period of time, and if you move while the doll is looking at you, you get eliminated. And by eliminated, I mean getting eliminated from your life. For now, our doll is this red rectangle, but we will spice up the graphics later. I also added that doll sound effect, and this is our final result. The second game was also easy to program, but it took a lot of time. This game is very much inspired from the Roblox version of Squid Game, and by inspired I mean a complete copy of the game. The third game is also very much inspired from Roblox, and you know what I mean by inspired.
Hey yo, what the?
Now while I was making all these games, I was also going through some problem. The more and more I worked on this project, the more and more I was turning into a dumb stupid child. Something like this. Anyway, the fourth game was really hard to program. Yes, that marble game. First of all, I didn't understand how the odd or even game works. I asked my friend for some help. Well, he did act as if he completely knows how the odd even game works. But after some time, I got to know that he knows nothing. Still, he managed to make some kind of game by adding some weird rules by himself. I also added some of my own rules, and here's how the fourth marble game works. So first up, you and your opponent will have 10 marbles each. Now you have to make a decision here. Either you can let your opponent guess the number of marbles you have in your hand, or you can guess the number of marbles your opponent have in his hand. And by guessing, I mean guessing odd or even, not the exact number of marbles. Let's just say you are the one who's gonna guess the number of marbles in your opponent's hands. In this case, you gotta select a number, and this number represents the number of marbles you will keep in your hand, and then you gotta guess whether the number of marbles in your opponent's hands is odd or even. If you guessed it correctly, you will be getting the number of marbles you had in your hand. If you didn't guess it correctly, you will be losing the number of marbles you had in your hand. Now that's round 1. In round 2, you're not the guesser. The opponent is the one who will be guessing the number of marbles you have in your hand. So you gotta select the number of marbles you'll keep in your hand. If the opponent guessed it correctly, you will be losing the number of marbles he had in his hand. If he failed to guess it correctly, you will be getting the number of marbles the opponent had in his hand. Now in round 3 you will be the guesser, and in round 4 the opponent again will be the guesser, and so on. The first one to get 20 marbles wins the whole game. I tried my best to explain this. I hope you did understand something. Now as this game is a single player game, I gotta make an opponent AI, which will randomly select a number of marbles and guess odd or even if he's the guesser. I think it should not take a lot of time. Anyway, we do have a working opponent AI now. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Now the 5th game will be the glass game. Here there will be 20 glass placed like this. And in each row there will be one tempered glass and a normal glass. If you step on the tempered glass, you get to live. If you step on the normal glass, you die. Well, I didn't want to make this game 100% based on luck, so there's a slight color change between the tempered glass and the normal glass. But this color change is only there for the first 7 rows of glass. The last 3 rows of glass is completely based on your luck. Now the final game is the lights out game, which I mentioned earlier in this video. In this game you gotta survive and kill your enemies by doing some kind of PvP, but also you will be receiving a random teammate. It can be any one of the following: Ali, Syabyok, Gihun, Sangwoo, Deoksu, yes, that strong guy, and finally Minyo. I hope I pronounced the names correctly, I'm sorry if I didn't. I also added a betray or trust feature, so the game will randomly give you 2 teammates and you can select one of them. And after you have selected your teammate, you can choose whether you want to betray your teammate or trust your teammate. Similarly, your teammate can also betray you or trust you. If you both end up betraying each other, you gotta do something called 2v1, which is a bit hard. If you both end up trusting each other, you can do a normal 2v2 fight. If he trusts you and you betray him, you can even kill your own teammate, which is pretty cool. But if you trust him and he betrays you, your teammate starts hitting the heck out of you, and you don't want that. So here's how all the things work. Sangwoo has 90% chance of betraying you, while Ali has only 10% chance of betraying you because Ali is a good guy. Gihun has 30% chance of betraying you because he did betray the old man in that marble game. And Syabyok has 50% chance of betraying you. Minyo has 60 and Deoksu has 70% chance of betraying you. Now I think it's time to spice up the graphics of this game and start drawing some art. I think that's enough for today. I'm sorry for this late video, you all can blame my school. Leave a like and subscribe because this video took ages to make, so please subscribe. If you do want me to publish this game, let me know in the comment section, or you can just join my non-ded Discord server. That's all from here. Bye and be happy.